you've spoken a lot about the time on the island. Just take us back. Your first meeting with Madiba, your impressions, and also how that impression changed, because you knew him in prison and then you knew him outside of prison.
Yes, no, indeed, we arrived on Robben Island in 1980, May specifically. And whilst we're looking forward to serving our sentence, at the back of our mind, we're looking forward to meeting this giant of our people. Remember, we had not met him before. When he was convicted in 1964, I was 4 years old.
Sure.
So I was going to meet him together with my comrades for the first time on Robben Island. And indeed, a month later, we're working in front of the reception area on Robben Island. And there they came. Madiba, Tate Sisulu, Kathrada, Mlangeni, Mtswaledi, Toivo Jatoivo, Zev Motopeng, Streni Mudli, and all. They came from the football ground, and they came and met with us, and they shook our hands, one by one, introducing themselves, very humble people. And Madiba was the last to shake our hands, and even as I went through to the reception area, he was the last one to stand there, look at us. Remember, for many years, they couldn't see any kid below the age of 16. And here was the group of 76, much younger, who are now on the island. But we owe our being. The very fact that that jail could not destroy our determination to fight the system of apartheid dubbed by the international community as a crime against humanity is in a better way because of the systems that they had put in place. You would recall that he speaks about the fact that when they went to the quarry, they used to ask each and every leader to prepare political lessons. So over the years, they then decided that the syllabus that they had to be extended to all other ANC political prisoners. So accordingly, 5 pillars in the main: political education, academics, manual work, music, and of course, the 4 pillars of our struggle outside maintained us, continued to inspire them. In terms of political education, every morning, lunch, evening, we had to study the history of the ANC, the history of the development of society, political economy, progressive world outlook. In terms of academics, they insisted that every ANC cadre on the island had to study. Madiba himself used to mobilize funds to ensure that all ANC political prisoners study on Robben Island. The third element related to the fact that we had to do manual labor, to combine now intellectual and manual labor and enjoy the dignity of labor. So, but we were part of the painting and decorating span. But critical and undercover, that span, part of its responsibility was to facilitate communication on Robben Island. So many a times we painted India section. We met Madiba one day, we even had lunch in that small cell, myself and one comrade called Sandy Lubisi from Pretoria. And we engaged with him directly. But also the welfare. Each time you met Madiba or Tate Sisulu, they would always ask you, Baya Palaika, are they writing to you? Does the family write to you? Do they come and visit you? They were always concerned about our well-being. We shared everything on the island. Many ex-political prisoners will testify to the fact that Madiba's family photos were given to a whole range of us. Mam Winnie Madikizela Mandela, the children. If you ask Tata, can I have the photo of Mama Winnie? He'll always give.
George Bezos yesterday was saying that Madiba himself never seemed to lose hope. He could see the end, the regime change. When you were there, did you envisage the end, that Mandela would be our first democratically elected president?
Look.
Was there a sense of always looking forward?
Absolutely. First and foremost, we never doubted that our struggle was a just cause. In prison, we continue to struggle for the betterment of our conditions. But we are sustained and inspired by what I referred to earlier as the 4 pillars of our struggle. Mass mobilization inside the country. We could see a student organization, youth, workers, COSATU, UDF being formed inside the country. Mass mobilization. We knew the political underground was going on. The heroic attacks of MK, you remember, Sasolbeck, Voortrekker in Pretoria, Pontensville, all those things. The international mobilization against apartheid, all those sustained us. And we were definitely sure that yes, one day, remember, the struggle in South Africa was among many struggles in the world. And we knew that indeed one day we will triumph. And we had always looked up to Tata Nelson Mandela as a possible future president. His demeanor, his discipline, his dignity, the manner in which he carried himself, the leadership he provided us, pointed to the fact that yes, one day we will take over and Madiba would be.
Tell me a bit more about that leadership. He sounds like a kind taskmaster.
Of course. Remember, Madiba had been a leader before he even landed in prison. He was a leader in the Youth League. He was a leader of the ANC in the then Transvaal. And that leadership, those leadership qualities continued to show on the island. He was a spokesperson on a whole range of things. When the Red Cross, International Red Cross came, he would be the one who would present our demands to the Red Cross, which they would then pass on to the government. When parliamentarians came to see us on Robben Island, Madiba would be there as our leader, as our spokesperson. Okay? And many other incidents. If we ever entered into a hunger strike, old as they were, they did not save themselves, sacrifice, and say, no, we are old due to ill health. They always joined decisions, obeyed decisions that were made by the collective of political prisoners on Robben Island. Remember, it was not just ANC, PAC, PCM organization. One of the critical components that they taught us, particularly Madiba, is the issue of the need for political tolerance and coexistence of different political philosophies. That we learned on the island. That yes, we can be there, we can hold different political views, but we can still coexist. The critical thing was that all of us, irrespective of political persuasion, were prisoners of the nets.
We're running out of time, but that dawn of democracy came. He was an old man, and I understand you were with him in '94 when he cast his vote. Can you give us any sense of what he was feeling? What was his demeanor like, that this was becoming real?
I think we've got to go slightly back. In 1993, there was the murder, callous murder of ANC and SABC leader Chris Hani. It was in this very building that Madiba, Jill Marcus, and I came. We came and put Madiba's statement and address to the nation on your autocue. And he addressed the nation. And he rose above everything else and gave the country leadership when it was tottering on the brink of disaster. And after that, all political parties agreed to the setting of April 27 as an election date. Indeed, on April 26, in the evening, Dr. Paulo Jordan, who was the head of our Information and Publicity Department, instructed me to accompany Tato Madiba. It was President Mandela, Marcel Golding, myself, who flew to Natal that evening of the 26th. This was a momentous occasion. This was a historic moment, a moment of pride, that indeed all those ideals and values that he stood for and was prepared to die for was coming to fruition. The
incredible.
dawn of peace, justice, and democracy in South Africa. We owe it to him as a people, as a nation, to ensure we can continue to consolidate and deepen the building of a non-racial, non-sexist, democratic South Africa.
Well, everybody's saying we shouldn't just look back, we should look forward. What trait, what quality, what little piece of his history would you like to take with you forward?
An unflinching commitment to our country, to bring about a better life to all our people, irrespective of the cost it might bring to myself. As he said, these are the ideals, if needs be, I'm prepared to die for. So we have that responsibility to continue to serve our people in the very same manner that he did, sparing neither strength nor effort to ensure that the lives of our people becomes better. And I think that is a better memory and legacy of Madiba.
My final question to you, we knew something big would happen, but have you been overwhelmed by the outpouring that we've seen for days and this build-up to the funeral on Sunday?
It couldn't be otherwise. Madiba is born of our people. And it is to the people you saw him returning at Union Buildings from Wednesday to today. I think we have to extend our gratitude to the people of our country, Africa, and indeed of the world, for the outpouring of grief, sharing that pain and sorrow with Madiba's family. I think that outpouring of grief has helped to lessen the burden of pain on Mama Gracia, Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, and the entire Madiba family. They are strengthened by the knowledge that their pain and sorrow is being shared by millions across the world.
Thank you for your tribute this evening. That was Ronnie Mamoepa, spokesperson for Home Affairs, a young freedom fighter who met Madiba when he served on Robben Island. Well, in